Hello, my name is Johan Safet and I'm doing a review of the Bible in different shapes or forms on this channel, and I hope it's helpful. Today we are looking at a review of Exodus, and from start to finish it's just a quick overview. It's an overview. It's not in depth, it's an overview. Like I did last week with the book of Genesis. It was 20 minutes. I expect it to be even shorter. So where did it start? So we're starting in Egypt. So where we stopped in Genesis, it's part of the historical books of Israel, part of the Torah in Hebrew, I believe, or the Pentateuch. It's the same word for the same thing. And that is the Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. We struggle with the last one. And it is part of the historical books, the history of Israel. And then we also in the Old Testament have the poetic books like Psalms, Job, Songs of Solomon, Proverbs, and so forth. And then we have the prophets, the major prophets, which is longer books, thicker books, and minor prophets, which is shorter books. That's the only difference. Prophet is a prophet. And that's the Old Testament basically summarized. And then, so we end off in Genesis, where Joseph was in Egypt, about the 7 good years, the 7 bad years, and how his brothers and his father came to him. And now we are in the beginning of Exodus. New king, new pharaoh. He doesn't know about the story of Joseph. Joseph already passed away. And the Israelites were in trouble. They were slaves. They became many. And it was time for change. And then, because it became so many people, the Pharaoh became nervous, and he decided that if anyone attacks, the Jews will join them, and the Egyptians will be dead. So he decided to kill all the baby boys. He first spoke to the midwives that they must kill the boys and keep the women alive. You can read it all in Exodus, but God said no, but the midwives said no. And when the Pharaoh called them, they said the Jewish woman is extremely powerful. Before they even get to the birth, the boy is already born. You can read it in the Bible. And then God blessed him with families, and then he decided to send out his soldiers to go and kill the baby boys. Many died, and then Moses was born, and his mother saw that he was beautiful. She loved him very much. So she hid him in a basket and put him in the Nile, the river Nile, and let his sister follow him. After she couldn't hide him anymore. And then while he was floating, or there in the Nile, don't know exactly how it works, it was like stuck between the bushes or floating. The princess, the daughter of the Pharaoh, saw the basket. She heard the crying. And she came, she got one of her 7 girls to get him out. She loved him. She realized it's one of the Jewish boys. And then Miriam, the sister of Moses, came and asked if she must find somebody to take care of the boy until he's big enough to live in the palace. And the princess said, yeah, to the Jewish people, and she said yes. So she brought a mother. And then he was under protection, and she even paid the mother to look after her own child. Amazing. And then when he was big enough, he was brought to the palace. He grew up in the palace. And then after a while, he saw how the Israelites was treated badly. And then, because of the slavery by the Egyptians, he decided to kill the one Egyptian, and he thought the Israelites will love it, but they didn't. So the next day he tried to go out, and they were like, "Are you trying to rule over us? Who are you?" And then he fled, because he realized the story is out, because he heard that the Pharaoh heard about it. And then he fled, he went, I can't remember to what place, please forgive me, in the desert, and there he met a man with 9 or 7 daughters. 7, I believe. And he married the oldest one. And then God spoke he was there for many, many years. And then God spoke to him about that he must go back to Egypt, and with many signs and wonders and convincing and sending his brother Aaron, he went. And there we go to how God hardened the heart of the Pharaoh, and then we have the 10 plagues to let the Israelites go free. And at the end, after the sons of the firstborns died, and we also hear about the Passover for the first time in the Jewish culture, how the Passover was established and how we can do it, how it was remembered by Jewish culture. It was taught about it in the Exodus. And then we see how they were leaving Egypt, how they got stuck by the Red Sea, how the Egyptians came to get them back, how they got nervous and started to fight, how God made a miracle that when Moses held his staff over the ocean, the same staff all the time, it parted wide, the Israelites went through, how the Egyptians got stuck, and that was the end of that story. How the Israelites were celebrating, and then that journey through the desert, how they were journeying through the desert, how they needed water, how they doubted, how they quarreled, how they were fighting against Moses, how they were struggling against Moses, and how they were blaming him, and all of that. And we read about water at Massa, the manna, the quails, all of that. And then we also come to the place where they have to build the tabernacle. And we go into details about the tabernacle and all of that parts and how it worked, in detailed description of everything. and also Moses was on the mountain, either Sinai or Horeb. Please forgive me that I said both. One of those two. And then how God gave him for 40 days and 40 nights, how God came to meet all the rules and regulations around that. And then the 10 Commandments, how God gave it to him and explained it in Exodus 20. And then how he went down. I believe the tabernacle was either before or after that, in between that part. And then he saw them with the golden calf. How they made themselves a god out of gold, and how he got furious. How the 10 Commandments got broken. He got later a new set again. And then how the Jews, how God punished the Jews for that act, but there was also forgiveness. Some died, but not all. And then we hear how God spoke to Moses as his friend in the tabernacle, in the tents, and it was a tent, a place of meeting which they made for God and them. And how they traveled, continued their journey, and Exodus. Yes, so that's basically the whole message in Exodus. It means like exit, leaving. They were exiting Egypt, and that is where the name most likely came from. Yes, so this is basically a quick summary of Exodus, and read it for yourself for more details. Thank you. Love you.